right, today we have a 15-minute workout for you. It is exactly from start to finish, 15 minutes. So if you're stuck in a hotel room, if you're stuck at the house, you're watching the kids, if it's bad weather outside and you cannot leave the house, here it is, 15 minutes, no equipment necessary here on this one. So for the workout today here, we got Cass is already set up in the warm-up position. So the first things that we're gonna do here is we're gonna start with the clams here for you. So side plank with a clam. The feet, if you notice, are staying together here, back down on the backside with it all. We're holding this plank. So again, we're just trying to start to warm up the body some a little bit here. We're turning the core on. We're turning the hips on here by opening and closing the knees together. We're gonna go for 15 reps on one side. When she gets done with the 15 reps here on this one, simply just transitioning over to the far side here on this one. And if you can kind of notice here from the side is we have a straight long line here on this one. So from the shoulders to the knees, to the hips to the knees here is all in one long line. It's not a broken arrow because sometimes you'll see people kind of in this funky kind of position. Next, we're gonna move into a hover position. And as she's in this hover position, she's gonna be down into all fours here, starting with just shoulders right over the tops of the hands and just simply extending one leg back behind here. So again, turning on the core, turning on the upper body, starting to turn the hips on some just a little bit for you. And today we're not using any weight, so we don't have to sit there and prepare to pick up, a couple of 50 pounds, 100 pounds, 200 pounds along the way. We just need to make sure that things are moving right, things are turned on, and the body's gonna be feeling really good. Once she gets done with these, we're doing 10 on each leg, so we've got the 20 reps in total. We're simply gonna stand up. We're gonna move into a little bit of the work that we're gonna do today. And as we get into this work, we're gonna work for 35 seconds, and then you're gonna rest just for 10. And the goal of this isn't to kill yourself, crush yourself. The goal on this one is to simply just get through this here. This is one of those days, hey, we're gonna check the box. We're gonna get a good solid workout in. So the first thing that she's gonna start off with here is what we call our get up. You can get super technical on these here. She's gonna start it. We're starting our timer here for 35 seconds. It's just going up and right on back down, lifting the hips, and we're gonna change the sides. So some of you are gonna be able to only get up here halfway, and then some of you are gonna be able to look at this and say, I'll show you here just a little example, is that's too technical for you. What you can do is you can just roll onto here, put both hands down, bring your hips up off the ground, then you're gonna go right back down again. We can roll over there to the far side and do the same thing. But just trying to get this full body thing moving, not about trying to crush it and get 15 different reps in and out of this one session here for you. So as we're up and down, all right, good, rest right there. The next one we're gonna move into, she's gonna stand on up. We're gonna move into a reverse lunge here for you. A reverse lunge, not yet. You got to start it in 3, 2, 1, here we go. So again, 35 seconds of work, just stepping back in front. And the most important thing you're watching out here on this one, a lot of times people say, hey, my knees hurt when I do lunges. That's because the heel comes off the ground. Is when you step back, you're in this position here. You're putting a lot of pressure there onto the front parts of the knees. So just staying up nice and tall. The knee always staying over the top of the ankle here on this one, as the ankle and the foot stays flat onto the floor. And again, just keeping everything up nice and tall. Again, this isn't trying to crush things and get it done as fast as you can get through it. It's just solid work. We're gonna do 3 rounds of this. It's gonna add up. All right, relax right there. Next we're gonna move into is just a push-up with a hold. And the push-up position here is we're just gonna assume we're gonna keep the feet about shoulder width apart. And as she gets into this, all right, go for it. It's a push-up, and she comes up to the top. She's gonna hold for 5 seconds, and then she's gonna go right back down into it again. So some of you wanna pick up the pace a little bit more, as you can do 2 push-ups, and then hold, and kind of work from there. Maybe 3 push-ups, and then hold. But the goal is just to maintain this perfect straight line here from the shoulders, hips, down to the ankles here on this one for you. And if a push-up is too much for you, we can simply go with shoulder touches here, back and forth. Again, the goal is to keep everything in a nice long straight line there. You got just 3 seconds left here. Just hold it for the rest of the time. Perfect, stand on up. Next, move into the lateral lunge as we step from side to side. Here, you got 5 seconds. Oh, she's eager, just super eager with it all. So 5 seconds, 3, 2, 1, here we go. So as you step out to the side, as you reach here, as you step, you can reach down to touch the floor if you have the mobility into your hips. Some of you may not. Some of you have to reach straight ahead, as if you're gonna be touching maybe the wall or a mirror or a door straight out in front of you here on this one. So as she's stepping there from side to side, she can show you this next time right here is where she's just gonna reach her hands just straight out in front. You got it there, boom, there. Looks like old school kind of jazzercise for some of you if you're thinking leg warmers and what your parents might have done here on this one. Last couple of steps here for you. 3, 2, 1, good, relax. And then now we're gonna have our skaters, which is gonna be just simple little hops back and forth here from side to side. So this is gonna kind of get the heart rate up some just a little bit. 3, 2, 1, here we go. Boom, boom, boom. So if you notice, there's a little bit of a pause in between each one here in this one. It's not about trying to get back and forth there 20 or 30 times before the end of the time there for you. You got about 20 seconds left. Boom, boom. You notice the knees are nice and soft. The feet go flat once or the foot goes flat once she lands there. You got 10 seconds left. And once we get done with this, we're simply going to repeat back through this whole order again here with the get up. 3, 2, and 1. Good. We're going to lay it back down into the backside. So there's no rest. There's no longer break after we get done with the first round. It's still just the 10 seconds. We're going to repeat back through with the get ups. This time she's going to stand all the way up off the floor. All right, go for it. So all the way up tall. She's going to come off the floor. Boom. Here. All the way up. And she's going all the way right back down. The only thing that's going to change, she's going to switch sides when she gets down here to the bottom. And then do the same thing as coming all the way up. Working it. Doesn't seem like much, but when we start to get this elevation here change, think about you're in an elevator. When you're going up and down, that sends the heart rate up. Perfect. I'm going to be able to finish this one out here for you. Again, we're not worrying about how many that we get. It's just going through the motions over there. Good, relax right there. Perfect. We're standing up, going to the reverse lunge here next. So if you're feeling good, if you want to kind of pick up the tempo a little bit with it here, you can start to move through these just a little bit faster. Here we go. Let's go. But it's still making sure everything's done right. So as you start huffing and puffing, we don't want to see the little things break down. Again, where the foot's starting to come off the ground, or the knees are starting to drift backwards, or they're starting to drift forward here on this one. But it's making sure that you keep that breathing going here for you on this one. 20 seconds left. Good. Last 10 seconds. After these, we're going to go back into the push-up with the hold. 3, 2, 1. You got it right there. Good. 10-second little breathing. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. You got it. So again, the push-up, the hold, as you kind of saw down there at the bottom, you can have a little bit of a pause at the bottom if you want to as well, just to make it that much more of a challenge. It's not about how many that you can get throughout this 35 seconds that you're working. It's just slowing things down sometimes. Concentrate on how much that you're breathing here, not holding our breath. You got 15 seconds left. When we get done with these, we're going to stand up. We're going to go into a lateral lunge. Boom. You got it. See if we can get one more push-up with one more hold. Boom. Perfect. 3, 2, 1. Got it right there. Perfect. Whew. Now we're moving into the lateral lunge here for you. Now we're moving to lateral lunge there. 5 seconds. This time right here is when you step out there, reach across your body here. All right, here we go. Reaching across. Boom. Now we are really going to get into the whole jazzercise, kind of grapevine stuff of the dance classes. But you just add a little bit of mobility with this. It's just trying to take that opposite hand, reach across your body here on this one. A lot of times we get a lot of stiffness and tightness through the lats, through the lower back area here, through the upper back and the spine. 12 seconds left. And it's just ways to kind of work on stretching, mobility work. At the same time, you're actually trying to get a little bit of a workout in here. 5 seconds, we're going to go into the skaters. 3, 2, 1. Good. Relax it. So the skaters, same thing. Just that little bit of the pause as we bounce it back and forth there. We go 3, 2, 1. Go. Boom. Over. Boom. Over. So on the distance on these, the way you can make these a little bit more challenging isn't to pick up the tempo. You're not ice skating here on this one. It is to say, hey, can I go just a little bit further? And as you push and you get a little bit further, the pause is going to become just a little bit longer because the body's trying to kind of, I think, recoil up a little bit like a pinball machine. You're trying to pull back, get it out there, explode across the body there. 10 seconds. And all we're going to do is we're going to keep that through here. One more round on these. 5 seconds. Last one. And relax right there. Good. We're laying back down into the ground. We've got one more time through here again. This will be the last of it. It's 15 minutes on the money, 35 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest. 3, 2, 1, here we go. All the way up there toward the ceiling. She's standing it all the way up. And some of you this might get too technical with it. Some of this kind of working through all the different ways. You can do this simply, is you can just crisscross your feet, put your hands down onto the ground, and then stand yourself right on back up. One, you can roll over here. There's a chair or step. You can kind of come right on up here. Well, I hit the stop on the watch there. And then you're going right on back down doing the same thing. But you can use other objects. Again, this is just a little bit more advanced technique of it all. It's trying to get the hips working, the upper body working, and trying to get a little bit of mobility work out of it as well there. 5 seconds until we go all the way up and all the way back down. Or we can stand right there. Perfect, good, relax. Thought we were gonna be able to make it. So reverse lunge is next here. Last couple of things here, then we're gonna be all done. Last couple of lunges. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Stepping back and forth. Just remember the little things as you start to get tired here in this one. The front foot stays flat, everything stays up nice and tall. Keep the breathing going. "15 seconds here, 15 seconds. Boom. Got it. Last 5 seconds. We're gonna go into the push-up with the hold again here. All right, good, relax right there. So this time around what we'll show you is she's gonna do the push-up still with the hold at the top, but then we're gonna throw in a few shoulder touches towards the end. So again, if you wanna kind of see this play out, all right, here we go. One push-up, we're just gonna hold it. Boom, we'll do one more here after this. And then she's just gonna move into some shoulder touches here for the rest of the time. So for those of you who are looking at it and say, hey, you know what, maybe the push-ups aren't the best thing for me, or the shoulder kind of hurts, something is just barking at you and then it's talking to you, telling you, hey, this doesn't work out. We can do these shoulder touches here to make sure that the hips are nice and flat. The feet are a little bit wider than shoulder width apart there for you. You got 12 seconds left. From here on these, we're gonna stand up and we'll go into the lateral lunge next here. 5 seconds here, 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, got it, right there, perfect. Lateral lunges here for you. So now this time right here, as she steps out there, she's just simply going to reach straight out in front and then come up nice and tall here for you. Ready? Here we go, let's go. So it's just a reach straight out in front there, boom. What we have to make sure that when we're doing these lateral lunges here in this one, it's not this like coming down forward here. When you start to get tired, you just all want to start to drop. Reaching the hand straight up there in front of you is going to make sure that you keep everything up nice and tall. 18 seconds left here, 18 seconds left. You're looking to make this just a little bit harder. What you can do is the trailing foot can roll off on the ground. When she steps over, she can roll this foot over. Again, it's just kind of just makes it a little bit more challenging here for you. Last step back over here to the far side. We have one more on the skaters. Good, we got to relax right there. All right, so this is the last thing here for you on this, and we're going to round this out right at almost exactly 15 minutes here for you on this. All right, we'll start at 3, 2, 1, here we go. Boom, over, boom, boom, boom. Got it. Again, little pause, shift the arms, allow the body just to kind of flow back and forth there naturally. The knees nice and soft. 15 seconds, 15 seconds. Got it. Last 10. Boom, 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 boom. Last little hop. Good, and we're just gonna show you one little thing for a cool down here on this one. So she's been working, you can see she's huffing and puffing. She didn't try to kill herself on it all, but 15 minutes was enough for this day that she was whether stuck in a hotel, she's stuck somewhere where she couldn't get away, she needed to be able to check the box and get a workout in. So we're gonna finish with one little stretch we call the world's greatest stretch. So as you're gonna put down one knee, we'll both go on the same side here in this one. So right knee's gonna go down onto the ground here, and then your right hand is basically just down. We're gonna start by trying to put the forearm down to the ground. Some of you might be able to get down to the ground like she is, or some of you are not gonna be able to get into this position here, but as you can see is we have this nice long stretch that's going on here in the front part of this leg. We're working to drop down again, trying to open up the back, and then we're simply gonna rotate up there towards the ceiling. And as she rotates, she's reaching straight up there towards the ceiling, and then she's just gonna come straight on back down, touch the elbow down to the ground, and then it's just rotating right back up, back down again, and then it's going all the way up. You can just do that 2 more times here for you. Boom, and then we'll switch it, we'll do the same thing just back onto the other side here. Only thing to watch out on here on this one is when she comes up here, is not to over rotate. You're not trying to go all the way to the wall there back behind you. You're thinking there's a straight long line all the way from the hand on the ground up towards the ceiling. Boom, right on up. We'll just do that 2 more times right here, then we'll be all finished. You got it. Easy as that. Done in 15 minutes, that's it. We've got warm up, we've got workout, we have all the mobility done there at the very end, and it's enough, like we said there, to check the box for the day, to get your session in, and then to be on with the day.